bakamuswe ama asajman mai.
Along the banks of the Pra River, Alfred Loku stands, staring at the murky water. Alfred fishes and farms here at the Anlo Beach, a community near Shamai in the western region. Alfred remembers a time when he could see the riverbed, clear and swarming with fish. Now the water is a thick, toxic sludge, the result of illegal mining activities. Galamsey had turned the lifeblood of the land into poison.
When the mining was not done in the Pra River, we were using it to do all our chores, including drinking it. All we needed to do was to put in camphor. We were using it to cook and wash. Everything has been destroyed now.
First person no yet me the banana dinner. Would see Unyama a few over to my dear sea. Upper, and soon you are over to Mano. See a bibia poto aside.
Alfred laments the loss of their livelihood, describing the daily struggle to secure water for drinking and household chores as a relentless battle.
Ebi abula bakadi asai unuma abaha.
We now resort to wells. The lagoon here is completely destroyed. It's unsafe to drink it because there may be complications. All we drink is sachet water, and this is very expensive. Because of the washing done by the Galamseyers, the river is filled with chemicals, weeds and mud. The fishes are all gone due to this situation. If you fetch your water for drinking,
in extracting the gold. Mercury is also another problem. Once you apply more fertilizer, you are adding more cadmium into the environment. And these are all carcinogens. They can cause cancers, they can affect our kidneys, they can do whatever they are there to do. But these are heavy metals, they are metals. Even though it's not easy to clean them up, there's a possibility to clean them up. But that comes at a cost. And that is why most people now prefer groundwater to surface water. But in our setting, if you want to use groundwater, how many can afford? The surface water is supposed to be the cheapest. And that is what we need to protect as a nation, as individuals. Those of us who find ourselves around this place, we are directly affected because we get our water from the Pra River. And today, the Pra River has become a mining hub. A whole factory of mining gold is at the Pra River. So we are directly affected. Even though all the water bodies that have been abstracted by Ghana Water Company are affected, we are the most affected. Look at the color of the Pra River. It's no longer a river, it's become a mud, more or less, with all these heavy metals and the mercury. And so it becomes a problem if we want to use it directly. But even the sachet water, we don't know how they are backed. Whether it's the same tap water that they go to hide somewhere. Everything is possible in Ghana and do that. So to avoid this, we need to come as a nation to look at all these things, and together we find a way to clean the water and for all of us to get good and safe water to drink.
Professor David Kofi Suman, an esteemed environmental scientist at the University of Cape Coast, sounds the alarm on the relentless Galamsey activities ravaging Ghana's rivers and water bodies. With a deep sense of urgency, he highlights the catastrophic impact of chemicals seeping into these waters, posing a grave threat to the health of countless Ghanaians.
You see, those days when we clarify water, we use just the water stands for some time and the sediment drops and it becomes clean without adding much chemicals. Today, because of the nature, it's mud. It's not water. They are squeezing water out of mud. And so they will have to add a lot of chemicals, alum, to be able to settle this thing that we are talking about. And apart from the cost implication, even our own health, because every chemical is dangerous, even water is dangerous. That's why we are all concerned about water today. The amount of chemical they will have to add before we can get clean water. And they are not at their level. They are operating far below their level capacity. Because with this situation, you can't even get to 60% of your capacity. They are always working beneath the capacity which they are supposed to be. So water company is overwhelmed. And they have to produce water at all means for us. No matter what the cost, they have to produce the water for us. And so the issue is a bit complicated. We have done the research. We know what is in the water. Heavy metals are there. Pesticides are there. Pharmaceuticals are there. Endocrine disruptors are there. So how do we get it out?
For Professor Suman, the toxic brew unleashed by illegal mining is a ticking time bomb, endangering lives and many other rivers that once represented life in our various communities have been desecrated. There's virtually no life in them. All the living things that once depended on them for their survival are now no more. This reverence ensured that rivers, lakes, and streams remained pure, untouched by the hands of those who desecrate them. Now, these age-old practices have faded into memory. The sanctity once accorded to these natural treasures has been overshadowed by the allure of monetary gain. Sacred waters, once no-go zones, are now vulnerable to exploitation. Their purity sacrificed at the altar of profit. What was once protected by deep-seated respect for tradition is now undermined by the clinking of coins as the sacred is sold off piece by piece. The Ghana Water Company continues to post challenges affecting the processing of water for the consuming public. At their water treatment plant here at Sechahiman, illegal miners continue to mine very close to the intake point of the company.
This is the Sechahiman water treatment plant. In fact, where I stand now is the intake section of the treatment plant. This is where the plant here draws water from the Pra River. That is the main source of water that they use in processing the water you and I have in our various homes. But where this plant sits is where the Galamsey activities go on unabated. And they care less. There is nothing that even amuses them. When they are even sacked, it is there that they come in their droves. In fact, where we stand, we could see a lot of them having a field day on the Pra River.
The water treatment plant is under siege. The company's workers stand on the front lines, waging an ongoing war against the murky, sludge-filled water that was once a crystal-clear lifeline for countless communities. The water treatment plants, once efficient hubs of purification, now resemble battlefields. Here, modern equipment struggles against overwhelming turbidity levels, constantly straining under the burden. The filtration systems, once designed to handle
turbidity levels of about between 800 to 1,000, but now we hit turbidities of about 11,000. Yeah, yesterday I think turbidity was about 9,000. So turbidity, like I told you, you can say is about how unclean the water has become in terms of silts. So water or a treatment plant that is designed to abstract water without silt is now abstracting the water with silt. So you abstract the water, you have to, so if it is, let's say, a full container, half of it is already silt. So it means that after treatment, half of it is waste. So if you are expecting to get 10 buckets, you get 5 buckets. So if you produce in 24 hours, you should get 10 buckets in 24 hours. Now you are going to get 5 buckets in 24 hours. So definitely you will get less water to supply to the people. That is not it. The other things that come with it is the facilities are not designed also to treat this turbid water. So you have your pumps breaking down. You use a lot of energy to treat turbid water, and many times you have to shut down, clean the system again. So when all these are happening, you see that you will get insufficient water in the system to supply to your people. That's a challenge we have. Ordinarily, we will use alum as our conventional coagulant. Now we use a more expensive chemical, which is like 4 times expensive.
Sludge generation and downtimes, high process loss due to frequent dislodging and backwashing. This has resulted in high water used in treatment, about 40 to 50% process losses in systems affected by Galamsey activities. The turbidity levels of the river, measured in stack numbers, tell a tale of despair. What was once clear and life-giving is now a murky, opaque challenge, with turbidity levels soaring to unprecedented heights. Each day, the company's engineers must tweak and tinker, coaxing the overworked machines back to life, knowing that every breakdown delays the precious flow of water to homes in dire need.
This is silt, and so out of the amount of water that we have fed here, look at the amount of silt we find in this amount of water. So it tells you the kind of difficulty the Ghana Water Company goes through in processing the water and getting water pumped into our various homes. All of these things have arisen because of the Galamsey activities.
But the Professor of Environmental Health at the University of Cape Coast, Professor David Kofi-Suman, says the country may be heading towards a water crisis, an imminent crisis that should make the country sit up and deal aggressively with the Galamsey menace. He believes Ghana Water Company's treatment regime is unable to take the heavy metals and other chemicals washed into the rivers as a result of Galamsey activities.
The fact is that our water treatment system was handed over by our colonial masters during independence. And it does 3 basic things. You get the water, it clarifies the water to make it clean, and then we chlorinate the water to kill germs and pathogens in the water. These are the basic things our water treatment system does. Anything other than that is a problem. But during those days, the pesticides, the heavy metals, the endocrine disruptors, they all get into the water body. But our treatment system does not take care of it. It doesn't attempt to take anything out. So they are always in the surface water that is being treated and piped for us, which makes our situation very vulnerable. And if steps are not taken, we only focus only on Galamsey. Galamsey is a problem because that is what everybody sees. It's a real problem, but there are others that are equally problematic. Pesticides, herbicides, They are all pharmaceuticals, everything drains into water bodies. Everything that exists on earth, when it rains, it moves into our water bodies. And so, as a nation, we need to look carefully and critically at the way we are treating our water.
Professor Isuman cautions that if the issue of Galamsey isn't addressed, the country may face a future where importing water becomes a necessity and a surge in waterborne diseases will plague the population.
So from their point of view, fine, they are doing their work. They are treating the way it's supposed to be treated, and it's clean water. But in real sense, we've gone past that line. That we need to further do other works to clean the water. But they cannot do it because they are handicapped. They don't have the facilities. So if Ghana now thinks that we have used this system for about 70 years or 60 years, we need to change it. Because there should be proper monitoring and evaluation of whatever we do in a country. Let us properly evaluate the treatment system handed over to Ghana Water Company and find out whether it is fit for purpose for today, the 21st century water treatment systems.
Despite the odds, the Ghana Water Company perseveres. The treated water, painstakingly processed from the sludge, is finally pumped into the homes of hopeful residents. But the struggle is evident in every drop. The water, although clear to the eye, carries the heavy weight of a journey fraught with threats of contaminants.
How we treat our water bodies is what reflects in what we call Galamsey. If we had the passion for protection of our water bodies, some of these things would not even come. And so it is not just the Galamsey, it's all human activities. I think that, like other countries do, water bodies are national security issues. They are national security zones. If Water Resources Commission, though working in it, they are civilians, but it's under the Ministry of Defense. And let's test the resilience of our military and see whether that problem will not be resolved. As at now, yes, once in a while we bring them in to go on, but that's a flash, it goes off. But if you make it their responsibility and they cannot stop our water bodies to be polluted, how can they guarantee citizens that when there is an invasion of foreign forces, they will be able to stop them? And I believe strongly that if it becomes a national security issue, and Water Resources Commission, though it's a civilian department, but under the jurisdiction and supervision of the military or national security, I'm sure this thing will give me 100 days. I'm sure it will be, because they will be marked by the quality of water. And I know the men. I know what they can do if given that responsibility. So I think that we've gotten to a stage where we need to be brute about it. We need to be truthful about it. We need to confront it head on. If we leave it in the hands of politicians,